Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Monday. This is the Woo Report. Or shall I say what Brandon says in the YouTube live. Victory Monday. I love it. Oh, it feels so good. This is the Woo Report. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network as streaming the Woo Report before your Monday afternoon commute, where we'll drop it into all of our podcast pages, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music Prime, iHeart app, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, big victory, all thanks to Andreas Johnsson. See the Andre Johnson jersey behind me. The longest inside joke in the Let's Go Devils podcast. Boy, is he hot. Last two games. 1 goal, 1 assist against that dud performance Friday night against the Nashville Predators. But moving on, last night's game against the Philadelphia Flyers, Sunday night game between the two Metropolitan Division rivals. Andreas Johnsson was all over the ice. Matter of fact, I believe he was on the ice for all the goals. I think he just stepped on the ice, if I'm not mistaken, for the Nathan Bastian goal. But regardless, he was there along with Jesper Bratt, or should I say Jesper Brought, the Johnsonville Brought line. Should get a sponsorship. On my blog, hockeybuzz.com, I said it's the No Mercy line. Call it what you want. Andreas Johnsson now leads the team in points, leads the team in goals with 9, and he's looking good. Did you expect him to be this good for your New Jersey Devils? I certainly didn't. Although I think somebody on Pucks and Pitchforks blog, I have to check it out. I don't know if it was Vinny Parisi or Nick Villano, was predicting that Andreas Johnsson would be the surprise player of the 2021-22 NHL season. Well, he's looking good. And that third line, is really playing like a top line, which gets into my next phase of the Woo Report. I'll be writing about this tomorrow. I'll let you know where it's going to be. I think it's going to be at pucksandpitchforks.com. Jack Hughes close to returning, according to Lindy Ruff yesterday during the presser. Jack Hughes. Some would say, would that disturb the chemistry that's going on with the New Jersey Devils? And I tell you no. And I tell you a reason why I say no. Because the bottom 6 forwards has been carrying this team consistently through the times of no Jack Hughes. Seriously, the Dawson Mercer, Andreas Johnsson, Jesper Bratt line has been on fire. Mikey McLeod originally went from the 4th line to the 2nd line to fill in for Jack Hughes. Didn't really work out. He was more comfortable on the 4th line. Although Mikey McLeod, Mr. Faceoff Specialist, the Faceoff King, is 3rd, 4th in the NHL in faceoff percentage. Winning the faceoffs, Mikey McLeod. But the bottom forwards, if you want to call it that way, the Dawson Mercer, Andreas Johnsson, and Jesper Bratt, and the Mikey McLeod, Nathan Bastian, waiting for Miles Wood line, filling in with, Mason Gertson and also Jimmy Vesey, have been very consistent. So if you insert Jack Hughes in the lineup, it's not going to change that. It's going to be plug and play. when Jack Hughes gets in the lineup. The 4 periods that we did see of Jack Hughes, well, the small sample size looks to be very promising, where he was scoring and skating around the opposing team and just scoring whenever he wanted to. I think he's going to do just fine when he returns to the top 6 forwards lines. Where do you put him? I don't know, but you shouldn't rush Jack Hughes, and it should take some time adjustment because he had been out for many weeks. Just like anything else, let's not put too much expectations on Jack Hughes coming back and the results that come with it. But you know what? If he comes back and he starts scoring like how he left off, yeah, I'll take it. But let's be realistic here. He dodged a bullet having that shoulder injury and be able to come back with just rehab, no surgery. Be fortunate about that. Be careful with Jack Hughes when he comes back. Devils fans, the expectation should be we're lucky to have him back. Let him ease his way back in the lineup. Jack Hughes will be Jack Hughes soon enough. But Dawson Mercer has been Dawson Mercer, and Dawson Mercer is ripping it up and had a monster game yesterday. And Andreas Johnsson and Jesper Bratt are the beneficiaries of it. Oh, yeah. And I think that once Jack Hughes gets going, maybe about late December after Christmas, we should expect a very, very potent New Jersey Devils team. Want to get your comments, your feedback on YouTube Live, YouTube channel Let's Go Devils, Facebook Live at Let's Go Devils Podcast, on Twitter, Twitter Live at Let's Go Devils Pod, and Twitch at Let's Go Devils Podcast. I want to know, do you think it's going to affect the chemistry? I'll write about that on pucksandpitchforks.com very soon about that. Check it out. Also, on the Woo Report, want to thank those commuters that download this podcast. Again, wherever you find our podcast, because we hit a milestone last night during the Devils After Dark podcast at Todd's Lounge 97.3. As I was going crazy with those, oh yeah, I know you like it. I know you love it. Those Andreas Johnsson calls. Yeah. And we were doing that at Todd's Lounge 973. And as we were doing our fun podcast, we hit 200,000 lifetime downloads here at the Let's Go Devils podcast. Whether it's the Woo Report, State of the Fan Address, Devils After Dark, Game Day Live, the Sunday edition of the Let's Go Devils podcast. Here, and I speak for everybody, Beer Baron, Shorts Guy, Scotty, Nick Villano, Vinny Parisi, the guys that you would just sit at any sports bar and talk Devils hockey. Here at the podcast, we do not pat ourselves on the back, especially milestones. Instead, we thank you, the fans. Those that are listening right now in the car, those that are listening to us right now on the live stream, 200,000 downloads, which 100,000 came in less than a year, which is over half. We can't thank you enough for being an avid, devoted, dedicated listener, viewer, or shall I say, fan of the Let's Go Devils podcast. We thank you because without you, there is no way physically possible for us to reach 200,000 lifetime downloads and counting. As each month that goes by, this podcast is taken off. And I'd like to thank those that come to our podcast, our live events, our live pregame, Game Day Live, Vinny Parisi and I, and Devils After Dark, and all of our podcasts when we travel. Also like to thank the friends of the podcast, the wonderful guests that we've had such as Ken Danico, Chico Resch, Steve Cangelosi, those in the past that have come on, Doc Emmerich, all those, we really appreciate it. It's not just me or the rest of the crew. It's really simply 3 guys, 4 guys, now everybody at a bar, talking Devils hockey. It's a little bit over the top. It's sometimes serious, just like how anything is at your local sports bar. Brandon says, Jack Hughes just makes the team better, will help Kokkonen and Sharangovich. Absolutely. And it will not disrupt the chemistry on the team one bit, because I think what Lindy Ruff did during the time of Jack Hughes being out was he made the team more balanced, better, worked on some issues, still need to work on some issues like shorthanded goals, giving up on the power play. But it should be plug and play, but I caution, temper your expectations when Jack Hughes comes into the lineup. Bassett Guy says, keep it up, y'all. Absolutely killing the podcast market. Thank you very much. Best place for NJ Devils hockey talk. Thank you, Bassett Guy. Yeah, again, we don't like to give ourselves a pat on the back on social media. That's just not our thing. What we like to do is, again, and I want to reiterate, thank you, the fans, for this, because you're part of our lives, just like how we're part of yours. Again, with the live stream or your commute. I can't tell you how many people have come up to me in the past 2 months, physically coming up to me, thanking us for getting them through the pandemic, getting them through hard times. That 9.5 months without Devils hockey was tough. More than just Devils hockey, but tough mentally. Being physically and socially distant from your friends and loved ones. But people tuned into the podcast. And it's an honor and privilege for us to provide you that type of content. And all we expect in return is just to have a little fun. So why don't we instead not like to give ourselves a back, thank each other, thank that we have our wonderful Devils fandom to celebrate our New Jersey Devils, especially now that they are winning, and the future looks bright, just like when we see the Utica Comets start a new winning streak. And they got some specials. Buy one ticket, get the next ticket for $13 in honor and pay homage to the 13-game winning streak to start the season of the AHL record. Love Utica Comets. Fred writes, can you comment on why Smith was scratched the previous games and didn't have much ice time as others? Look, it's no question that Ty Smith has been struggling. He did not have training camp, and he won't use that as an excuse, is what Chico Resch said on Game Day Live. But he's struggling, and he's hurting Damon Severson's game as well when he's paired with them. In all fairness, I think Damon Severson has played pretty good so far this season. Yeah, he frustrates us, but no one's perfect. And I think Ty Smith was rushing back too early. He wanted to get back in the mix. Let's do it right. We're healthy right now on defense, knock on wood. Siegenthaler's been very, very solid, eating up minutes. Dougie Hamilton, what a signing that was. Ryan Graves, what a trade that was. Damon Severson's not doing too bad. PK Subban had a good stretch there. Sometimes he still gets beaten, but that's to be expected. The pressure's off PK Subban. Putting him on the third pairing isn't such a bad thing. But Ty Smith, give him some time. Give him some time. I don't think he's the next Will Butcher, but Lindy Ruff needs results right now. Cool with that. I do like Colton White. I've been impressed with him since training camp. Bassett Guy says, Holtz picked up where he left off down in Utica, racking up the points. 1 goal, 4 assists in 3 games. Yeah, did you see that sweet assist that he had? No look pass. to Marian Studich. I like calling him that. But yeah, Utica makes me happy. Utica's success is our success. Our success is Utica's success. So far, it's been very successful. And that's all I have to say. Well, I'm going to end the Woo Report. Dropping the podcast in about 10, 15 minutes after we end the live feed. I'll be back at Taj Lounge 973 tomorrow for the Devils take on the San Jose Sharks. Special guest for Game Day Live with Vinny Parisi and I, Pete Canarosi, Devils organist, stopping by for about 10 minutes as we got a new tradition of the lobster tail and pasta before the game at Taj Lounge 973. I think it's $25-26. It's totally worth it. Totally worth it. The seasoning, it's great. It's wonderful. Moose. No, I'm not talking about Johan Hedberg. I'm talking about Rebecca Moose Morse. She's a foodie just like me. I told her about the lobster tails, and she's all in. She's going to get some lobster tails very soon. Yes, that's the same Moose, Rebecca Moose Morse, of the PHF, formerly known as the NWHL. Now playing for the Connecticut Whale. Yeah, you know it. All right, I want to thank all those tuning in. Thank you, Bassett Guy. Thank you, Brandon. YouTube Live. Thank you, Lisa, Fred, John, Colin, Jordan, Lisa, Robert, Justin for tuning in. Enjoy your commute, everybody. 10 and 2 on the wheel. Drive safely. Stay warm. David Decker. Buy a Toyota from Hometown Toyota in Ledgewood, New Jersey. David Decker hooks the Let's Go Devils podcast up with Toyotas. Ask Shorts Guy. Ask me. We left Google reviews about David Decker. Town Toyota, Ledgewood. We're not being endorsed by it. We just know good service when we see it. See you later, everybody. This is the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.